In a vast universe filled with stars and strange worlds, a massive alien spaceship floated silently in the dark. Its sleek design was unlike anything humans had ever seen. Bright lights flashed from its surface as it glided through space, scanning planets for potential resources. The crew inside was confident and proud of their power. They had conquered many worlds, and today was no different. Meanwhile, on a nearby planet, a small group of human soldiers was preparing for an important mission. They were part of a special unit, trained to handle any situation. This time, they had received word that an alien fleet was approaching their home planet. They knew they had to act quickly. The commander of the human soldiers, Captain James, stood tall and focused. He looked at his team, a mix of experienced fighters and fresh recruits. "Listen up, everyone," he called out. "We may be outnumbered, but we have something they don't. We have heart, training, and the element of surprise. We will show them that we are not to be underestimated." As the soldiers got ready, the alien ship continued its journey. Inside, the crew watched as they approached the planet. "Look at that tiny army down there," one alien laughed, pointing at the small group of humans gathered in the open field. "They think they can challenge us. They are nothing." The alien captain, Zorak, grinned. He had fought many battles and had always emerged victorious. "Prepare to land," he ordered, his voice booming. "We will crush them and take this planet for ourselves." As the alien ship descended, the humans were oblivious to the scale of the threat. Captain James and his team had set up their equipment and were readying their defenses. They had high-tech gadgets and weapons, but their true strength lay in their determination. Just then, a low rumble echoed across the ground. The humans looked up to see the alien ship landing, its massive shadow cast over them, and the soldiers felt a mix of fear and excitement. They were ready to face whatever came next. Zorak and his crew exited their ship, their tall, green bodies glistening in the sunlight. They looked down at the humans, who seemed so small and fragile. "Prepare to surrender," Zorak shouted. His voice was loud, echoing across the field. The aliens laughed, their confidence overflowing. But Captain James stood firm. He raised his voice so his soldiers could hear him. "Stay calm, everyone. Remember our training. We will not back down." He knew this was their chance to show the aliens that they were wrong about humans. As the aliens moved closer, the soldiers felt their hearts race. They had faced tough enemies before, but this was different. These aliens were bigger and stronger. Yet, they remembered their mission. They were fighting for their home, their families, and each other. Zorak took a step forward, still grinning. "Look at them, my crew. They are shaking. They know they can't win." He felt invincible, surrounded by his crew, ready to take on the world. But Captain James had a plan. He whispered to his team, "On my mark, we will use our gadgets. Let's show them what we can do." The soldiers nodded, determination shining in their eyes. As the aliens continued to taunt them, Captain James raised his hand. "Now," he shouted. The soldiers activated their gadgets, and a dazzling light burst from their equipment. The sudden flash blinded the aliens for a moment, and confusion spread across their faces. "What's happening?" Zorak shouted, stumbling back. His confidence wavered as he realized that the humans were not as weak as he thought. Taking advantage of the distraction, the human soldiers moved into action. They spread out, using their training to create a defense line. The aliens were caught off guard, and fear began to creep into their minds. Zorak quickly recovered, his anger boiling. "Don't let them trick you. Attack," he commanded. But the humans were ready. They used their gadgets to shoot back with precision and speed. The battlefield became chaotic. Humans and aliens clashed, each side trying to gain control. The humans fought bravely, pushing forward despite their smaller numbers. They were determined to prove that they were not to be laughed at. In the midst of the chaos, Captain James fought alongside his soldiers. He moved with confidence, rallying his team as they pressed on. "We can do this. Keep fighting," he shouted, inspiring his soldiers to give their all. The aliens were stunned. They had never faced such fierce resistance from a small group. "They are stronger than we thought," one of the aliens yelled in shock. As the battle raged on, Captain James realized that this was not just a fight for survival. It was a fight for respect. The aliens had mocked them, but now they were beginning to see the truth. The tiny army they had underestimated was fighting with everything they had. With each passing moment, the humans gained strength. They were proving that even a small group could stand strong against a powerful foe. The tide of the battle began to turn, and the aliens started to doubt their superiority. As the dust settled, the humans stood their ground, ready for whatever came next. They knew that this was just the beginning, and they were determined to show the aliens that they were a force to be reckoned with. Captain James looked at his team, pride swelling in his chest. They had faced the first challenge together, and now they were ready for more. The aliens had underestimated them, but they were about to learn a valuable lesson. Never judge a book by its cover. The hidden strength. As the dust settled from the chaotic battle, the humans stood tall, their hearts pounding with adrenaline. Captain James looked around at his team, each soldier breathing heavily, but filled with a sense of pride. They had fought bravely against the alien invaders, proving that they were not just a tiny army. They were a powerful force. Zorak, the alien captain, was furious. His crew had never faced such fierce resistance from a group they thought would be easy to defeat. "Regroup," he commanded, his voice sharp and full of anger. The aliens hurried back to their ship, their confidence shaken. They had to come up with a new plan. Inside the alien ship, Zorak paced back and forth. How could they fight like that? He wondered aloud. His crew exchanged nervous glances, unsure of what to say. They had always seen humans as weak and untrained, but today had shown them a different side. Meanwhile, the human soldiers gathered in a small circle, discussing their next move. "We need to use what we have," Captain James said, his voice steady. "We might be small, but we have technology and tactics. Let's plan our next steps carefully." Private Lisa, one of the younger soldiers, raised her hand. "What if we use our gadgets to create traps? We can lure them in and surprise them again." Her eyes sparkled with excitement as she spoke. James nodded, impressed by her idea. "That's a great plan. We can set up distractions and then hit them when they least expect it. But we must work together and be ready." The soldiers began to share their ideas, and soon the group was buzzing with energy. They set to work, creating clever traps using their gadgets and the natural landscape around them. They were determined to show the aliens that they could not be underestimated. Back at the alien ship, Zorak was still fuming. "We need to strike back harder," he said to his crew. "These humans are clever, but they are also foolish to think they can win. We will crush them." The aliens worked to repair their ship and reinforce their defenses. Zorak knew they had to regroup and come up with a stronger plan. He called for a meeting with his top officers. "We cannot let them get away with this," he said. "We will attack at dawn. We will show them the true power of our technology." As night fell, the human soldiers continued their preparations. They were tired but filled with determination. Captain James walked among them, offering words of encouragement. "Remember why we fight," he reminded them. "We fight for our planet, our families, and each other. Let's show the aliens what we're made of." The team set their traps in strategic locations, using their gadgets to enhance their effectiveness. They worked quietly, ensuring that the aliens would not catch on to their plans. The atmosphere was charged with excitement and fear, but their spirits were high. They were ready to face whatever came next. When dawn broke, the alien ship launched into the sky. Zorak stood on the bridge, watching as they approached the battlefield. "Prepare to attack," he shouted, his eyes gleaming with anger. He could already picture the glory of victory. But little did he know that the humans were ready. As the alien ship landed, the crew stepped out, fully armed and ready for battle. They were confident, believing that they would easily defeat the humans. "Let's finish this," Zorak sneered, leading his crew forward. The moment the aliens stepped into the open field, the humans activated their traps. Bright lights flashed, and loud noises echoed through the air. The aliens were caught off guard, and confusion spread among their ranks. "What is happening?" Zorak shouted, panic rising in his voice. From their hidden positions, the human soldiers began to attack. They launched their gadgets, creating smoke screens and disorienting flashes. The aliens stumbled, unsure of where to aim. The humans fought with determination, using their training to outmaneuver their foes. Zorak struggled to regain control. "Stay focused. We can't let them win," he yelled. But the humans were quick and agile, darting in and out of the chaos. They were proving that they were not just a tiny army. They were a force of nature. As the battle intensified, the humans pressed forward. Each soldier fought fiercely, remembering their training and the bond they had formed. They were not just fighting for survival, they were fighting for respect. They wanted the aliens to understand that they were not weak. Amid the chaos, Private Lisa spotted Zorak, the alien captain. With a surge of courage, she aimed her gadget and fired a flash that hit him directly. Zorak stumbled back, momentarily blinded. "Get that human," he shouted, but it was too late. Lisa had already disappeared into the smoke. The aliens began to panic as their leader lost control. The once confident crew was now filled with fear and confusion. "They're stronger than we thought," one alien shouted. "We can't let them win." Captain James seized the moment. He rallied his soldiers, shouting, "Push forward. We can't stop now." The humans charged with renewed energy, their teamwork and determination shining through. As the battle raged on, the humans began to push the aliens back. They were no longer just defending. They were fighting to win. The aliens' bravado was fading, and the humans were proving their worth on the battlefield. With each victory, the humans grew more confident. They had shown the aliens their hidden strength, and they were not going to back down. The tide of the battle was turning, and they were ready for whatever came next. The aliens had underestimated them, but now they were learning the hard way that humans were anything but weak. The surprise attack. The sun rose over the battlefield, casting a golden light on the scared ground where the humans had fought so fiercely. Captain James stood with his soldiers, watching as the alien ship hovered above them, its massive shadow stretching across the field. They had won the last battle, but they knew the fight was far from over. The aliens would not give up easily. "Listen up," James called out, his voice firm and steady. "We did well last time, but we can't get careless. The aliens will come back, and they will be ready. We need to be smarter and faster." His team nodded, determination shining in their eyes. Just then, a loud noise echoed from the alien ship as it opened up to reveal Zorak and his crew. The aliens had gathered their strength and were ready to strike back. Zorak looked furious, but also more cautious this time. "We underestimated them before," he said to his crew. "But this time, we will not fail." The aliens quickly organized themselves, forming a line as they advanced toward the humans. Zorak led them, his eyes scanning for any sign of weakness. "We will show these humans that they cannot challenge us," he shouted, his voice ringing with anger. Meanwhile, the human soldiers were busy preparing for the incoming attack. They had set up more traps and were strategically placed throughout the area, ready to spring into action. Captain James knew they needed to keep the aliens off balance, stay alert, and be ready for anything. He reminded his team, "Let's catch them by surprise." As the aliens approached, the humans held their breath. Zorak marched forward, leading his troops confidently. "Charge!" he yelled, and the aliens surged ahead. The moment they crossed the invisible line, the humans sprang into action. Bright lights flashed from hidden gadgets, blinding the aliens momentarily. "What is happening?" Zorak shouted, stumbling back as confusion filled the alien ranks. The humans had set up a series of lights that created a dazzling display, catching the aliens off guard. "Now," James shouted. His soldiers moved swiftly, launching small drones that whirred above the aliens' heads. The drones dropped smoke canisters, filling the air with a thick fog that obscured the view. The aliens were disoriented, unsure of where to aim. Taking advantage of the chaos, the human soldiers charged from their hiding spots. They moved like shadows through the smoke, striking at the aliens with precision and speed. "Stay together," James called out, leading the charge as they pressed forward. Zorak tried to regain control of his crew, but panic spread among the aliens. They were not prepared for such a sudden and clever attack. "Fight back," he yelled, his voice filled with frustration. But the humans were relentless, their surprise tactics throwing the aliens into disarray. Lisa spotted an alien soldier struggling to find his footing in the smoke. With a surge of courage, she darted forward, her heart racing. She launched a small gadget that released a bright flash, stunning the alien and allowing her to take him down quickly. "We can do this," she shouted, feeling empowered by her success. As the battle raged, Captain James and his team pushed deeper into the alien ranks. They worked together seamlessly, using their training to outmaneuver their larger foes. Each human soldier played their part, firing gadgets, setting traps, and moving quickly through the fog. Zorak, still reeling from the initial surprise, fought to keep his crew together. He knew he had to turn the tide of the battle quickly. "Regroup, follow my lead," he commanded. But the aliens were scared, and many were unsure of how to proceed. Suddenly, James spotted Zorak in the distance, trying to rally his troops. "There's our target," he said, motioning to his team. "If we can take down their leader, it will create even more chaos among them." With renewed energy, the human soldiers moved toward Zorak, weaving through the smoke. They were determined to finish what they had started. "Stay sharp, everyone. We have to be quick," James shouted. Zorak noticed the approaching humans and felt a wave of anger wash over him. "You will pay for this," he roared, raising his weapon and firing at James. But James was faster. He ducked and rolled, avoiding the blast, and continued to move forward. The alien captain began to panic as he realized his crew was falling apart. "What are you doing?" "Fight," he yelled, but the humans were relentless, striking from all sides. One by one, the aliens fell, their morale crumbling. In a moment of bravery, Lisa jumped in front of Zorak, blocking his path. "You underestimated us, and now you will see our strength," she declared, her voice strong and clear. Zorak narrowed his eyes, realizing he had misjudged these humans. But the human soldiers were not just fighting for survival, they were fighting for respect. They wanted the aliens to understand that they were not weak. They had shown their hidden strength, and now they were ready to claim victory. As the battle reached its peak, Zorak felt the tide turning. "We must retreat," he shouted, realizing they could not win this fight. With a final command, he ordered his crew to fall back. The humans cheered as the aliens began to scatter, retreating to their ship. Captain James looked at his team, pride swelling in his chest. They had successfully executed a surprise attack that caught the aliens off guard and forced them to retreat. As the smoke cleared, the soldiers celebrated their victory, knowing they had proven their worth once again. The aliens had underestimated them before, but now they understood the true power of humanity. James knew that this battle was just the beginning, and they were ready for whatever challenge lay ahead. The change of plan. After the surprise attack, the humans stood victorious on the battlefield, their hearts filled with pride. Captain James looked at his soldiers, their faces beaming with excitement. They had faced the aliens and pushed them back, proving that they were not to be underestimated. But deep down, James knew that the battle was not over yet. The aliens would regroup and come back stronger. In the alien ship, Zorak seethed with anger. His crew was shaken, their confidence shattered after the unexpected defeat. "We cannot allow this to happen again," Zorak shouted, slamming his fist on the control panel. "We must change our plan. These humans are clever, but we will outsmart them this time." The crew exchanged worried glances, unsure of how to proceed. "But Captain," one officer said hesitantly, "they used tactics we didn't expect. What if they have more tricks up their sleeves?" Zorak narrowed his eyes, his frustration boiling over. "We will prepare for every possible scenario. We will use our technology to our advantage. They may have caught us off guard, but we will not let it happen again." As Zorak formulated his new plan, Captain James gathered his soldiers in a nearby bunker. They had set up a temporary base to regroup and plan their next move. "We fought well, but we cannot let our guard down," he told his team. "The aliens will come back, and we need to be ready. We must outthink them this time." Private Lisa raised her hand. "What if we set up decoys? We can create fake positions to confuse them. While they're distracted, we can strike from the sides." Her eyes sparkled with excitement as she spoke. James smiled at her idea. "That's a great plan, Lisa. We can use the landscape to our advantage. Let's set up some decoys and make them think they're attacking us in one place while we hit them somewhere else." The soldiers nodded in agreement, their spirits high once again. They worked quickly, gathering materials and using their gadgets to create realistic decoys. Some soldiers dressed in their uniforms and took positions in the decoys, ready to trick the aliens. As they set up their plan, the atmosphere was filled with excitement and anticipation. Back at the alien ship, Zorak was preparing for his next attack. He had ordered his crew to scan the area for human activity. "We will strike hard and fast," he declared. "We will show them that they cannot defeat us." As the aliens prepared for battle, the humans watched carefully from their hidden positions. Captain James kept a close eye on the alien ship, his heart racing with anticipation. "Remember your positions," he reminded his team. "Stay calm and wait for my signal." The alien ship began to move, its engines roaring to life as it soared through the sky. Zorak led his crew into the open, ready to face the humans once again. "This time, we will not be fooled," he shouted, rallying his troops. As the aliens landed, James watched intently. The moment they stepped out, he activated the decoys. Bright lights and sounds erupted from the fake positions, creating an illusion of human activity. The aliens were drawn in, their attention focused on the decoys. "Now," James shouted, and his soldiers sprang into action. They charged from the sides, launching their gadgets and firing at the distracted aliens. The element of surprise was theirs once again. "What's happening?" Zorak yelled, his eyes wide with disbelief. The aliens were caught off guard as the humans emerged from their hidden positions. "They tricked us again." The battlefield erupted in chaos as the humans fought fiercely, using their tactics to their advantage. They moved quickly, flanking the aliens and striking with precision. The aliens struggled to regroup, their earlier confidence replaced with fear. James led his team with determination, pushing forward as the battle intensified. "Keep moving. Don't let up," he shouted, inspiring his soldiers to give their all. Each human soldier fought with bravery, their hearts pounding with adrenaline. In the midst of the battle, Lisa spotted Zorak, his face twisted with anger and panic. "We need to take him down," she called out to her team. "If we can defeat their leader, it will create even more chaos among them." With renewed focus, the soldiers pressed on toward Zorak. They maneuvered through the alien ranks, using their gadgets to create distractions and openings. Zorak realized they were targeting him and felt a surge of panic. "Get them. Don't let them reach me," he screamed, but the humans were relentless. As they closed in on Zorak, the alien captain's anger boiled over. He raised his weapon, ready to fire, but just as he aimed, James dove to the side, narrowly avoiding the blast. "We won't let you win," he shouted, determination filling his voice. The humans fought hard, their teamwork shining through. They worked together seamlessly, each soldier covering the other. Zorak struggled to maintain control, his crew falling apart around him. "We cannot lose," he yelled, but his voice was drowned out by the sounds of battle. With one final push, the human soldiers surged forward. They surrounded Zorak, forcing him to retreat. "This isn't over," he shouted as he stumbled back, but the humans were ready. They were not just fighting for survival, they were fighting for respect, and they would not back down. As the battle raged on, the tide continued to turn in favor of the humans. The aliens, once so confident, were now filled with fear and confusion. Captain James and his team had shown them that they were a force to be reckoned with. In the end, Zorak realized he had underestimated the humans. They were not just a tiny army. They were strong, clever, and determined. And as the aliens began to retreat, the humans celebrated their hard-fought victory, knowing that they had changed the course of the battle once again. The big battle. The sun hung high in the sky, casting a bright light over the battlefield. After the surprise attack, the humans felt a surge of confidence. They had fought hard and pushed back the aliens, but they knew that the final battle was yet to come. Captain James gathered his soldiers, determination shining in his eyes. "Today is the day we finish this," he said, his voice strong and clear. "The aliens will come for us again, and we must be ready. We have shown them our strength, but we will show them our unity. We fight for our planet, our families, and each other." The soldiers cheered, their spirits high. They had faced challenges and emerged stronger, and now they were ready for whatever came next. They quickly set up their defenses, using the natural landscape to create barriers and hidden positions. Every soldier knew their role, and together, they prepared for the big battle. Meanwhile, aboard the alien ship, Zorak was seething with anger. After the previous defeats, he realized that his strategy needed to change. "We will not let them get away with this," he shouted to his crew. "This time, we will attack in full force. We will crush them and take control of this planet once and for all." His crew looked tense, their confidence shaken, but they nodded in agreement. They had to follow Zorak's lead, no matter the cost. They were tired of being humiliated by the humans, and the desire for revenge burned strong. As the alien ship soared toward the battlefield, Zorak devised a new plan. "We will split into two groups," he instructed. "One group will create a distraction while the other flanks them from behind. We will catch them off guard this time." The aliens nodded, and soon they were ready for battle. Zorak led the first group down to the ground, their weapons at the ready. They approached the human position, ready to unleash their fury. "Stay alert," James called out to his team as they spotted the alien ship descending. "This is it. Hold your ground and be ready to fight." As the aliens landed, a loud roar erupted from their ranks. "Charge!" Zorak commanded, and the aliens surged forward, their weapons aimed at the humans. The battlefield erupted in chaos. The humans held their ground, using their gadgets and teamwork to defend against the oncoming attack. Bright flashes of light filled the air as lasers fired from both sides. James shouted commands, guiding his soldiers as they fought bravely. "Keep firing. Don't let them break our lines," he yelled, his voice cutting through the noise of battle. The humans moved together, forming a strong line of defense against the advancing aliens. But Zorak had planned carefully. As the first group engaged the humans, the second group moved quietly to flank them from the side. The aliens appeared from behind the humans, catching them off guard. "We have them now," Zorak shouted, feeling a surge of triumph. The humans felt the pressure as the aliens attacked from both sides. "Fall back. Regroup," James yelled, but the aliens pressed forward, their numbers overwhelming. The battle was becoming chaotic, and the humans struggled to maintain their positions. Amid the confusion, Private Lisa spotted a group of aliens heading toward Captain James. She knew she had to act fast. "I'll cover him," she called out to her team, her heart racing. She grabbed her gadget and ran toward the incoming aliens. "James, look out," she shouted as she activated her device, creating a bright flash that momentarily blinded the aliens. "Now," she urged, and James turned just in time to see the distraction. With quick reflexes, he took advantage of the moment and launched his own attack. "Great job, Lisa," he called out, grateful for her bravery. Together, they fought back, pushing the aliens away from their position. The battle raged on, and the humans fought with everything they had. They used their training and teamwork to push back against the overwhelming alien force, but Zorak was relentless, rallying his troops and urging them forward. "Don't give up. We are stronger than they are," he shouted, his voice echoing through the chaos. The aliens responded with renewed energy, charging toward the humans with fury. But Captain James would not back down. He rallied his soldiers, shouting encouragement as they fought together. "We can do this. Stay strong," he urged, leading by example. The humans pressed on, their spirits unyielding in the face of danger. As the battle continued, Lisa found herself in the thick of the fight, dodging blasts and firing back at the aliens. She fought alongside her teammates, and they quickly formed a bond, working together to defend their home. "Keep moving," James yelled, leading a counterattack. They pushed against the aliens, creating gaps in their ranks. Slowly but surely, the tide began to turn. The aliens, once so confident, started to falter as the humans fought back with determination. Just when it seemed that the humans had a chance to claim victory, Zorak unleashed his secret weapon, a massive energy blast aimed directly at the humans. "This ends now," he roared, preparing to fire. But James saw the danger. "Everyone, fall back," he shouted, urging his soldiers to retreat to safety. The humans moved quickly, taking cover as the blast erupted, sending shockwaves through the battlefield. The explosion created a massive cloud of dust and debris, obscuring the view. In the confusion, both sides paused, catching their breath. James looked around, assessing the situation. His soldiers were tired but still determined. "Listen up," he shouted, his voice cutting through the noise. "We may be down, but we are not out. Let's regroup and come up with a new plan. We will not let them win." As the dust began to settle, both sides prepared for the next phase of the battle. The fight was far from over, and James knew that they needed to come together as a united front to claim victory. The humans had shown their strength before, and now it was time to prove it once more. The final fight. The battlefield was filled with tension as the dust began to settle. Both the humans and aliens paused, catching their breath after the explosive confrontation. Captain James could see the determination in his soldiers' eyes, and he knew they were ready for the final fight. This was their chance to end the alien threat once and for all. "All right, team," James called out, gathering his soldiers around him. "We've fought hard, and we've shown them our strength. But now we need to finish what we started. We cannot let them regroup again." Private Lisa stood beside him, her face determined. "We need to take down Zorak. If we can defeat their leader, it will break their spirit," she suggested, her voice filled with conviction. James nodded. "You're right, Lisa. We need to take the fight directly to Zorak. Let's split into two groups. One will create a distraction, and the other will move in to flank him. We need to be smart and quick." The soldiers exchanged confident glances, ready to carry out the plan. They quickly set to work, preparing their gadgets and weapons. The tension in the air was electric as they moved into position, knowing that this fight would determine their fate. Meanwhile, Zorak was fuming aboard his ship. "We will not lose this battle," he shouted at his crew, who looked nervous after the recent setbacks. "Prepare for a full assault. We will crush these humans once and for all." As Zorak's crew scrambled to get ready, the humans executed their plan. James led one group toward the aliens, creating noise and chaos to draw attention. Meanwhile, Lisa took her team around the side, aiming to flank Zorak. "Now," James yelled, and his group charged forward, firing their gadgets and shouting to distract the aliens. The sound of lasers and explosions filled the air, and Zorak turned to see what was happening. "Get them," Zorak ordered, but it was too late. Lisa's team had already moved into position, ready to strike. They silently advanced, their eyes focused on Zorak, who was distracted by the ongoing battle. As James and his team fought fiercely, the chaos gave Lisa the perfect opportunity. She gestured to her teammates to move closer, and they crept up behind Zorak, who was shouting orders to his crew. "We need to end this," she whispered to them, her heart racing with excitement and fear. Suddenly, James spotted Lisa's group closing in on Zorak. "Now's our chance," he shouted to his team, and they pushed forward with renewed energy, fighting their way through the alien ranks. Zorak's eyes widened as he sensed the danger. "What? No," he exclaimed, turning to face the humans. But it was too late. Lisa and her team launched their attack, surrounding him. "Zorak!" Lisa yelled, stepping forward with determination. "This ends now. You underestimated us, and now you will pay for it." Zorak raised his weapon, but James was faster. He dove forward and knocked the weapon from Zorak's hands. "You won't escape this time," he declared, grabbing Zorak and pinning him down. The alien captain struggled, but Lisa and her team held him firmly. "We will not let you threaten our planet any longer," she shouted, her voice strong and unwavering. As the fight continued around them, the other soldiers noticed the commotion. They saw that Zorak was captured and rallied together. "Let's finish this," one soldier shouted, and they surged forward to help. Zorak felt panic rise within him. "Release me. I am your captain," he bellowed, but his pleas fell on deaf ears. The humans fought with fierce determination, refusing to let the alien leader regain control. "Don't let him go," James yelled to his team, holding Zorak down as they struggled to keep him in check. The chaos of the battle swirled around them, but the humans stayed focused on their goal. Suddenly, Zorak activated a hidden gadget on his wrist, and a loud alarm rang out. "You fools! You will regret this," he shouted, a wicked grin spreading across his face. The aliens around them began to regroup, drawn by the sound. Realizing the danger, Lisa shouted, "We have to stop him before he can escape." With a surge of adrenaline, she tightened her grip on Zorak, determined not to let him go. In that moment, James shouted to his team, "We need to disable his gadget." They quickly sprang into action, working together to pin Zorak down further. One soldier aimed a device at Zorak's wrist, attempting to disable it. The alien captain struggled violently, but the humans were relentless. "You can't win," he snarled. "We will return, and we will destroy you." But James looked Zorak in the eyes, unwavering. "Not if we can help it. You've threatened our home for too long. This ends here." With a final push, the soldier managed to disable Zorak's gadget, and the alarm fell silent. As Zorak realized he was defeated, fear washed over his face. "No, this can't be happening," he shouted, desperation creeping into his voice. But the humans stood firm, having taken control of the situation. With Zorak captured and his gadgets disabled, the tide of the battle began to shift. The remaining aliens hesitated, confusion spreading through their ranks. "What do we do?" one alien asked, looking to Zorak for guidance. "Fall back," Zorak shouted, but it was too late. The humans took advantage of the moment and surged forward, pushing the aliens back. They fought with a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that victory was within reach. As the aliens retreated, the humans cheered, their spirits lifted by their hard-fought victory. Zorak was captured, and they had proven their strength once and for all. Captain James looked at his team, pride swelling in his chest. "We did it. We showed them what humanity is capable of," he declared, his voice ringing with triumph. The humans had fought bravely, and they had emerged victorious. The battle was won, and their planet was safe for now. But they knew that they would always be ready to protect their home against any threat that may come their way. The new respect. The battlefield was now quiet, the sounds of lasers and explosions replaced by the calm of victory. Captain James stood among his soldiers, watching as the last of the alien ships retreated into the sky. They had fought bravely, and their hard work had paid off. The humans had proven themselves, not just to the aliens, but to each other. "Good job, everyone," James shouted, his voice filled with pride. "We did it. We stood strong against the aliens and protected our home." Cheers erupted from the soldiers, their faces glowing with joy and relief. They had faced a mighty challenge, and now they were victorious. Lisa stood next to James, her heart racing with excitement. "We showed them that we are not to be messed with," she said, grinning widely. "I can't believe we captured Zorak. He thought he could take us down." James nodded, still processing the victory. "This battle was about more than just winning," he replied. "We've built trust and respect among ourselves. We fought together and showed that we are strong as a team." As they gathered their gear and prepared to leave the battlefield, James noticed Zorak sitting alone, captured and bound. The alien captain's expression was a mix of anger and fear. He had never expected to be defeated by humans. James walked over to him, ready to address the alien. "You thought you could conquer us, Zorak," James said, standing tall. "But we showed you that humanity is not weak. We may be small, but we are fierce and united. Do you understand that now?" Zorak glared at him, his pride wounded. "You may have won this time, human," he spat, "but you cannot keep me here forever. My people will return, and we will crush you." James met Zorak's gaze firmly. "If your people come back, we will be ready. We have proven ourselves today, and we will fight for our home. You may have underestimated us, but now you know the truth." As James turned to leave, he felt a sense of satisfaction. They had achieved what many thought impossible. They had pushed back an alien invasion and captured their leader. But more than that, they had forged a new sense of unity among themselves. Back at the base, the soldiers gathered to celebrate their victory. The atmosphere was lively, filled with laughter and cheers. They shared stories of the battle, recounting their bravery and teamwork. James felt proud as he watched them bond, their spirits high. "Let's not forget the lessons we learned," he reminded them as the celebration continued. "We fought together, and that made all the difference. We must always remember to support one another." Private Lisa raised her glass in a toast. "To teamwork and courage," she shouted. The soldiers echoed her, raising their glasses high. "To teamwork and courage." As the celebration went on, news of their victory spread beyond their base. The people of Earth learned about the brave soldiers who had defended their planet against the alien threat. Stories of their courage and determination inspired others, igniting a sense of pride and respect for the human spirit. Days passed, and life slowly returned to normal. But things were different now. People spoke of the brave soldiers, and children looked up to them as heroes. The humans had shown that they could stand up to any challenge, no matter how great. One afternoon, as James walked through the town, he noticed something unusual. People greeted him with smiles and nods of respect. "Thank you for saving us," a woman said as she passed by. "You're a hero," a child shouted, his eyes wide with admiration. James felt a warmth in his heart. He had always believed in the strength of humanity, but now he could see it reflected in the eyes of the people. They had fought for their planet, and now they were being celebrated for their bravery. As he continued his walk, James thought about the future. The battle had taught them valuable lessons, and he knew they would be better prepared if danger ever returned. They had earned respect not just from the people, but also from their enemies. In the days that followed, Zorak was kept under tight security. While the humans had captured him, they also recognized the importance of understanding their enemy. They wanted to learn from him, to find out what motivated the aliens and why they had attacked. Captain James visited Zorak in his holding area. "We want to understand," he said, his tone serious. "Why did you come here? What do you hope to gain?" Zorak, still proud but now a little humbled, replied, "We wanted your resources. Your planet is rich, and we believed it would be easy to conquer, but you surprised us. You humans are resilient." James nodded. "We are. And if you want to leave here with your life, you should think about peace. We don't want more fighting. We want to coexist." Zorak looked at him, considering his words. He had never expected to have this conversation. Perhaps there was a chance for understanding after all. "Maybe there is another way," he said slowly. "But your people must prove they are worthy of trust." James felt a glimmer of hope. "Then let's work together to find a path forward. We can build a future without war, but it will take respect from both sides." As James left Zorak's holding area, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. The battle was over, but their journey had just begun. Together, they could create a world where humans and aliens could coexist, built on respect and understanding. The victory against Zorak and his forces had changed everything. The humans had proven their strength, not just in battle, but in their ability to unite and strive for peace. They had earned respect, not just for themselves, but for humanity as a whole. And as they looked to the future, they knew that they would be ready for whatever challenges lay ahead.